Hi, this is Helena Hart, and in this video, I wanted to answer a couple different questions I received from some women in our community about feminine energy. Like, does feminine energy just mean waiting around and seeing what a guy's gonna do? And should you always be in your feminine energy? Is it ever okay to be in your masculine energy when you're with a man? And things like that. These are just fantastic questions that I get asked all the time. So hopefully this video will be helpful for you if these are some things that you've been wondering yourself. But before I get started, if you're new to my channel, click the button to subscribe to get all of my videos on how to attract the man you want and create an amazing relationship with him. So I thought this would be a really good opportunity to explain the difference between empowered masculine and feminine energy versus wounded masculine and feminine energy. I've talked about this a little bit in some of my other videos, but these are just such important concepts. I really wanted to emphasize this here today. So empowered masculine energy looks like giving freely without an agenda. It's the part of yourself and also the part of a man that supports the feminine energy and really creates structure and boundaries. So the feminine energy side of yourself can just be there and breathe and really intuit what's going on around you and within you. And I'll give some examples of this if this sounds confusing, because I know these are really big concepts, but they're so important to understand when it comes to attracting everything you want in life, not just the man and relationship you want, but the success you want in your career and, the happiness and adventure and fulfillment, really anything you want in life. It's so important to understand how these energies are working and get them functioning more freely the way they're supposed to. So that's the empowered masculine. The wounded masculine energy can get into like bullying and sort of pushing and shoving your way into getting what you want at all costs, even if it means not having empathy for the other person, right? And we all have these different parts of ourselves that can operate in different situations of our life. We all have different combinations of all four of these going on. And a man does as well, by the way. So very important to keep that in mind. So the empowered masculine gives freely without an agenda. The wounded masculine is more controlling and manipulating. It could be like a narcissistic type of tendency or emotionally unavailable man, or parts of yourself that lean towards being emotionally unavailable. That's the wounded masculine. The empowered feminine energy is the willingness to be seen and express your desires, express yourself. It's the confidence to really show a man or show the world who you truly are deep down. So important. And the wounded feminine is this damsel in distress kind of energy. It's when you lack the motivation to take care of yourself or take care of something in your life. Also feelings of constant feelings of worry or doubt, or not trusting yourself, not trusting a man or the universe and life to deliver what you want. Unfortunately, a lot of people equate feminine energy with this wounded feminine or the false feminine energy, which is, like I mentioned, this damsel in distress, this kind of just giving up and waiting on a man or somebody else to step in and save you from your own life or save you from some situation that you don't want to deal with yourself. Very, very common thing. Like I said, we all have different combinations of all four of these. So what I would really recommend here is see where you can come from your empowered masculine and your empowered feminine energy as much as possible, not only in relationships and dating, but in every area of your life. Because the empowered masculine, so what you want is to attract an empowered masculine man, that empowered energy won't sacrifice itself or get pulled into the wounded energy. Now, of course, there are some men out there that are just magnets for wounded feminine energy, like certain men in specific professions, especially, I've really seen are a magnet for women and people with these tendencies, these wounded feminine energy tendencies. And those relationships really never work out. That's what I've seen. So the empowered masculine energy won't sacrifice itself or get pulled into this wounded dynamic where they're constantly having to come in and save the wounded feminine. Now, of course, the empowered masculine wants to be there and support the feminine. They want to be there for you and be that container. They want to be that safe structure to where you can, flow freely in your feminine energy. So let me give you some examples of this. The empowered masculine, one great example I've heard, that if, his partner gets sick or is in an accident and is in the hospital, of course, he would sacrifice himself and be there and support her and do whatever she needs to get better. But he wouldn't, for example, sacrifice himself to be with a woman who is maybe cheating on him or abusive or not treating him well. That's the difference there. And so as much as you can, be that empowered masculine safe space for yourself and step into your empowered feminine energy. So what does this look like in real life? This looks like setting boundaries, right? That's your own empowered masculine energy. And then the empowered feminine within yourself holds that space for what you want and doesn't settle until that right person comes in, till that right man comes in or the right situation for you, right? It's trusting the universe, trusting yourself and your own feelings, and trusting life, and just knowing for sure that if you have a desire for something, you don't need to settle. So the empowered masculine sets that boundary, puts that structure in place, and then your empowered feminine holds that space and doesn't try to close that gap or settle for less than she deserves. I hope that makes sense, and I would love to hear from you too, as much as you can. Try seeing where you can step in more to your empowered masculine and empowered feminine. And, I'd love to hear from you. Type in your thoughts and experiences with this in the comment section. So that's the example. An example of the wounded side would be, just kind of letting a guy come and go as he pleases, and, just like not standing up for yourself, not sticking to your boundaries, and just kind of letting a guy do whatever you want because you just have such strong feelings for him, or you don't believe there's anything better out there for you, or maybe that you don't deserve to be treated really well in a relationship. That's the wounded feminine. And then an example of the wounded masculine would be, pushing and shoving a guy, trying to control the situation or manipulate him or all the circumstances around you, just trying to get what you want at all costs without, having regards or empathy for the other person. So I hope that gave you some concrete examples. And again, I would love to hear from you too. Type in your experiences with this in the comment section, both, your own energies within yourself and the kind of men that you've experienced out there. When you're coming from these different places, I can definitely guarantee when you start coming from an empowered place in all areas of your life, if you're single, different kind of men will start showing up. It's just the way it works, right? Because you attract a mirror image of your own masculine energy. So if you want to attract an empowered masculine man, you have to learn how to step into these empowered energies within yourself. And then again, with the feminine, holding that space and sticking to your boundaries and standards, not settling until what you want shows up and shows you that they're going to be consistent and reliable and dependable. So I talk a lot about this in my program. I did this program with Leah Lake, my friend and fellow coach, called The Art of Getting the Commitment You Want. Leah's just an expert and total genius in these different, masculine and feminine energies. So we talk a lot about that in that program. I'll post a link to that. I actually wrote an article on this topic too. So I'll post a link to both of those in the description if you're interested in reading about this and learning more, how to heal your wounded masculine and feminine energy and step into your empowered energies so you can attract what you want in your love life and really get that lifelong committed relationship you've always wanted. So check those out. They're in the description right below this video. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you next time.